Thank you so much, Mr. Shukla, for making time for us. While Trump's speech, widely viewed as a test of his plea for unity, it began on a personal tone, it soon turned to Trumpian talking points, misleading statements and lies. After this speech, you think Trump has shown little appetite for changing his ways, changing his tone and his words?
Donald Trump is known for his Trumpism, but I can tell you that when he started off, he was a subdued Donald Trump. And certainly that assassination attempt seems to have had some kind of an impact. But obviously, he can't go away from what, that he's known for. But if you ask me, talking to a lot of analysts here in the US and a lot of voters, I think he made a performance which will only help him in these elections, Parmeshwar, because something which he did very well. One, he addressed his own gallery, which is the core Republican base, but he also went out to speak to other voters who are undecided, especially in the swing states in the US. There are some Democrats voters who are having doubts about, President Biden. So certainly Trump cleverly played to that gallery as well. That's the reason why he spoke about unity. Yes, he turned to some of the other things that he was speaking about earlier. There was some misinformation that was there, claims which are fact-checked and found to be not true. All that was there. That's classic Donald Trump. But if you ask me in terms of the performance, he played to the gallery and he did it well because he knew that he has a role that he has to play. And after that assassination attempt, a lot of sympathy factor is also played in for him. And he made sure that was there. If you saw the visuals that were played out, it was very well calibrated. And I would say that the Republican strategists did a fine job in making sure that he stuck to the script. He obviously did his own bit of Trump humorism, which he does, saying that, Kim Jong-un, has been missing him, and
his
he
comment
had
about Nancy
chats with
Pelosi.
a couple of world leaders.
In fact, some political experts actually argue that this was an echo of former President Ronald Reagan, who also projected strength and humor after being shot back in 1981. Reagan was politically untouchable from that point on. But you think things are expected to be similar for Trump? And I want to bring in a very, very important point. I'm glad that you brought Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan is a very, very well-regarded president, a Republican president. He also had a very famous speech on immigrants. Donald Trump spoke about legal immigrants. So he made a distinction about skilled legal immigrants here and illegal immigrants, which will be a good news for the Indian immigrants who are there in the US. A lot of IT professionals were very worried about a Trump presidency, but I think he assuaged that fear. And that is something which, if he holds on to that, that will be good for Indian professionals who are there in the US. But if you see his foreign policy, obviously he's talking about ending the Ukraine war. He's also trying to say that he will end the Middle East conflict, whether he's able to do that or not. But at least these promises augur well for the global politics. But having known, and I've interviewed him in the past, interacted with him, but he can be very unpredictable. But he's somebody who has a conviction on certain issues. So that's the reason whether it comes to foreign policy or to the economy, he has a certain conviction. He's talking about lowering taxes. He spoke about that how he met a waitress in Nevada, and when she told him about taxes and tips, he decided that he's going to end any taxes on tips. So these are populist things that he's talking about because he's very smart on that. And if you ask me, as of today, as we evaluate the US politics and the election process, he has an edge following this speech. In fact, a lot of polls also indicate the same, Mr. Shukla. But Democrats' reviews of Donald Trump's convention speech are actually in, and they are overwhelmingly and unsurprisingly negative. In fact, one Democratic advisor has said that he has not changed, he has not moderated, he has gotten worse. What are you picking up on, Mr. Shukla? What are the Democrats saying?
The Democrats, obviously, any opposition party has to criticize. They can't say that he did a fine job. But behind closed doors, they know, and they have been saying, I've been speaking to a lot of them, that compared to their candidates, whether it was the performance in the debate, he has been performing better. Yes, people have doubts about the fact that he, does speak a lot of things which are not factual. But compared to President Biden, in terms of the performance matrix, especially when it comes to voters, the core voters are not the voters who fact check you on every issue. So for them, he is being, addressing to the gallery, and he has been performing well. Democrats, I have to tell you this, there is a strong possibility that President Biden may be forced to withdraw his candidature. It remains to be seen who will take his place, and can that Democratic nominee take on this new avatar, so to say, of Donald Trump? And can he really take him on, especially in the swing states? That is a big question to be answered. But for now, if you see his performance in the Republican convention, Donald Trump has an edge because of the fact that not only did he, address his core voters, he also spoke to some of the other undecided voters, which will be critical in the upcoming US elections 2024.
Of course.
Parmeshwar?
Mr. Shukla, as we wrap, Donald Trump also claimed tonight that the Biden administration took his energy policies and destroyed them, and then they immediately went back to them. Now, we know that this claim is misleading because under Joe Biden, the US is actually producing more crude oil than any other country. What do you have to say about the misleading statements and lies that were basically pronounced from the stage tonight at the RNC?
No, I agree with you. I know that Joe Biden's energy policy has helped US and also in some ways stabilize global oil prices. And he's had a good energy policy. In fact, on critical minerals, so specifically, I think US has taken a lead on making sure that they have a policy on critical minerals, which was very, very pivotal for them and addressed the national security needs. I know that Mr. Trump's statement there were not factually correct, but these are the things. That's what I was trying to tell you. His core constituency is more bothered about the semantics, more about the atmospherics, and he addressed them very well. If you see the delivery, if you see the performance of what President Biden had in his debate with Donald Trump and Donald Trump's speech now, and also situation has changed. Following the assassination attempt,
Absolutely.
He also has got a lot of sympathy factor of having somebody who's a strong president who is fighting for the American people. And I can tell you, based on as things stand today, certainly he has an edge compared to President Joe Biden. But it remains to be seen who Democratic Party is going to nominate as the next candidate, because that's what I'm hearing from our sources, that there's a strong possibility that this weekend President Joe Biden may announce that he will not be the Democratic candidate. But this is all in the realm of speculation as of now. There's no confirmation, but that will decide what really happens in the election 2024, because there's 3 months to go, and politics is the art of impossible.
Absolutely. Always a pleasure to chat with you, Mr. Shukla. Thank you so much for making time for us.
Pleasure.